Kenisha Tootoosis is your next speaker, and Kenisha's goal is to help give missing and murdered Indigenous women a voice, but not only that, to honor all women and young girls, to know they are beautiful and that they are sacred. She will do this by speaking widely about this issue, plans to hold a free conference for women and girls on all the different modalities that are available to people to help them take the first step to self-esteem and self-worth so that they can continue healing from historical trauma that plagues women, oppressed people, and Indigenous peoples across North America. Kenisha maintains a high academic average while she participates in sports and cultural activities in and out of school. She is a member of the Sekeu Substance Awareness and Empowerment for Youth group, and she is here to promote positive self-image. So please put your hands together and welcome very kindly up to the stage, Kenisha Tootoosis.
Tanse, nitiga san pisako usko kiskigo mana otsinia. Hello and good morning, everybody. My name is Kenisha Tootoosis, and I come to you from the Palmaker Treaty 6 First Nations. I am 18 years old, and I'm currently in grade 12 attending John Paul II Collegiate in North Battleford. I guess I would like to start this by saying thank you all for being here, and I'm very honored to be here speaking. And I never knew that I would be here at such an amazing conference for such an amazing reason, such as thinking Indigenous and bringing our cultural values and continuing them in our education system, and for our teachers to connect with the students even more. And I'm very happy to be a part of this today. So I'd like to thank you all for being here and for allowing me to be here. The story I'm about to share is about healing and empowerment. And I'd like to just say that it's not a simple thing to grow in today's society, to grow into an Ehia woman, I guess, because there's so many influences along the way that can mislead you and send you in different directions. So I'd like to share my story of healing and empowerment and how I've helped others and shared my story to do that for others as well. I come from a family I'm very proud to come from Palmaker, Saskatchewan, to carry the last name Tootoosis, to know my family history and to know where I come from. I am very blessed to have a family that uplifts you, to have mushrooms that say, "Oh, hi, my Newsom," and they give you a big hug, and I'm very thankful for that. And for cousins, for aunts, for my mother, for my father. I'd like to say that as well, to thank my mother for always helping me and allowing me to grow and leading me in the directions that would help me, that would encourage me, that would uplift me. And so I'd like to say that it's not like I've never been able to come up here and speak to an audience. I've always had the passion to come up and share a story and to speak up for something. I've always had that passion within me because I remember even as a young girl attending a conference in Alexis in Alberta, and I don't exactly remember everything that conference was for, but I remember that it was speaking up for environment. It was speaking up for the animals. And as Indigenous people, we always have that concern for our land and for our animals because we're so connected to it. Our roots are set there. And so as we sat in a circle, everyone had their opportunity to speak up and to share their input. And as I believe I was like 12 or 13 at the time, I was just sitting there. I was sitting in my seat and I was tapping my leg. And I had this urge to say something. I had this urge to speak up. And that's where my passion for public speaking came from. And as I grew older, my journey through healing began. And as Indigenous people, as coming from the residential schools and all our historical trauma, it doesn't have to keep going. I'm sharing with you that right now, that we have an opportunity to heal today, tomorrow. We have that opportunity as soon as we know it's there, to heal from anything that's happened, from even hearing about the things that our people have gone through that can strike a nerve, we call them triggers. And so my family has helped me get to where I am today, through helping me, through encouraging me, through being there. And one of my biggest supporters and teachers has been and is my late Mushroom Arsene Tootoosis and my grandmother Kim Tootoosis. They have helped me so much and strengthened me. They've helped me heal from a really raw, hurtful experience that I've gone through as a child. And to get past that, it was something that I said I was never going to tell anybody. And so to get past that, it took a lot of tears, a lot of healing. So much emotion and anger came through that. But a part of that healing and tears and anger, across those tears and anger is healing. That's that part where you begin to shed that. You let go of it. And there's a thing that we call forgiveness. You let go of it. And you begin to see yourself again. You begin to see yourself as that light, as that bright light. And I'd like to share something with you. And I came across it, and I'm just going to use my phone here. Sorry. So there's a quote by Crazy Horse, and he shared it. This is a statement of Crazy Horse as he sat smoking the sacred pipe at, I don't know how to say it, Pahasapa, with Sitting Bull for the last time 4 days before he was assassinated on September 1st in 1877. And this quote I'm going to share with you has been, I guess, the inspiration for me to keep going with this empowerment. And so, as we speak about historical trauma and genocide and all these things that have happened to our people in the past and where we are today, he says, "Upon suffering beyond suffering, the Red Nation shall rise again, and it shall be a blessing for a sick world. A world filled with broken promises, selfishness, and separations. A world longing for light again. I see a time of 7 generations when all the colors of mankind will gather under the sacred tree of life, and the whole earth shall become one circle again. In that day, there will be those among the Lakota who will carry knowledge and understanding of unity among all the living things. And the young white ones will come to those of my people and ask for this wisdom. I salute the light within your eyes, where the whole universe dwells. For when you're at that center within you, and I'm at that center within me, we shall be as one." And with that, I'd like to say, I salute the light within each and every one of your eyes. I salute that you all have a spirit. You all have that light inside of you. And because I see that in each and every one of you, that's also within me. I have a bright spirit, a happy spirit. I have a powerful spirit. I'd like to say that within each and every one of those students, when you walk into that classroom, you need to see that. You need to uplift those students and bring that out in each and every one of those students. Because as Neheo, we know that our little ones, they're little spirits that were gifted to us. We need to take care of them and watch over them. We need to guide them and raise them in the right way. And that's the same thing within our education system. None of those students that you see are failing, none of them are actually failing. There's also a stage within adolescence where they're contrary, they're different, they're rebellious, they're this way, they're that way. But really, you just need to encourage them to keep going past that, to keep on that good path, avoid drugs and alcohol. And I've done my best to lead my life in that way. And one of the ways that I've influenced others and that I've uplifted others through my empowerment journey, I'm a part of the SAY group, SACWO, SEGWO, Substance Awareness and Empowerment for Youth group. And we're a group of about 6 people, 6 to 10 youth, and we uplift each other. We've been able to present in Honolulu, Hawaii, in Rapid City, South Dakota, and in Fort Robinson, Nebraska. We've brought each other along with each other like that. We've carried each other. And that's one of the ways that I've seen this happen. I've seen this happen as you begin to heal, as you begin to let that light shine, as you begin to see the universe in each and every, and the people next to you, as you see the universe in their eyes, you see where they come from, you connect with them, and you uplift them in that way. And another thing I'd like to share is a story. It was shared to me by Philip Whiteman, and he's one of my mentors. So what he shared with me was, and this is what also helped me have like that light bulb moment. He says, if I walked over here and I went to the ocean and I grabbed a cup of water from the ocean and I walked back over here to where you are, he takes that cup of water. He's actually holding a cup of water as he's telling this story. And he goes, what's that cup of water as I come back to where we are now? So, like, you might think salt water, ocean water with little bits of floaties in it. But really, when you think of it, that water, that cup of water that you took from the ocean is still a part of the ocean, even though we're way over here in Saskatoon. That water is still a part of the ocean, even though there's miles and miles and miles and miles apart. It's still a part of that ocean. And so when you put it into a different perspective, where we are created by our Creator. Oh, that's kind of funny, but we're created by the Creator. We come from Him. And as we're created from Him, we're here on earth. We're here for this experience to be with each other. We're still a part of the Creator. He's still here with us. We have that, our spirit, atak. We have our spirit here. And we're still a part of Him. He's still here. And so as you think of that, we still have that bright, pure light inside of us, and no one can ever take that away. We have to take care of it, and taking care of it means to always know where we come from, to always honor that, to always respect ourselves and respect others. And one of the experiences I've had is to, as we went to Honolulu, Hawaii, to go present there, I met a friend. His name is Kapono, and he's Hawaiian. And one of the things that we shared while we were at that conference, it's the World Indigenous Conference on Education, and we were at the Youth Day. And we had this moment where he was sharing something with me, and they call it mana. They call it their light. And their mana is that light inside of them, their spirit. And that light shines to the top of their head, and it connects them to that higher being. That higher being that's up there, that's their connection right here. And as they have that connection, there can be like garbage. He called it garbage right here in your ears, right on top of your head, blocking that light. But if you yourself, let's say I had a friend here who had garbage right there on their light, right here, garbage, I don't know, like hurt, healing, things that they need to work past. They have that there. And you yourself, as a person who knows that, they have that there, and they still have that connection to the Creator. They nurture that connection. As you come to stand beside your friend here who has the garbage there, your light, it kind of points down, and say, I'm the friend right here, and I have the garbage, and I point the light onto their heads. That garbage goes out their ears. It goes out their ears. It brushes off their head, and they have that connection again. You help your friend to clear that connection. You help each other to become connected to that again. And that's my story of empowerment. To help each other, to uplift each other, uplift those students, uplift each other as teachers, as educators. Always remember that each and every one of those students, this is me coming from a student's perspective, always acknowledge that they have power, they have opportunity, they have room for growth. Another story I'd like to share on who I represented for I represented the missing and murdered Aboriginal women of Canada for an entire year, from the year of 2013 through 2014. And this was during a time that I believed that I could run for this title, and I knew of the reasons why they had this title. So I ran for it. I went through each of the processes, and I was crowned Miss Manitowabi. And as I went in for an interview, I started to think, what does each and every one of these families go through? What are our women going through? Our First Nations women all across Canada, what are they going through? How much hurt are each one of these families going through? And I start to think, what can I do to help? What can I do? And so I was crowned to represent the family and the life of the late Cherise Houle. She was 17 years old when she passed on. And I got to meet the family. And it was very heartwarming to meet that family, because I felt that connection when I was sitting in there, in that room with them as they were interviewing me. One of the family members said, I feel like she's here with us. Having you sit here and having to talk to you, I feel like she's here with us. And that touched my heart. I knew that I wanted to honor all of the families of the missing and murdered Aboriginal women. I knew that I had to do something. And so as I traveled across Canada, speaking and representing this title and this cause, the missing and murdered Aboriginal women across Canada, there's 1,200 plus, and there's more and more and more. And that's scary to think that we may not even be safe in our own cities. And so it was my not duty, but I really wished to help. And one of the ways I helped was we worked for that year to put on a special. And in my biography, it kind of says that I'm still 15, I'm still Miss Manitowabi. It kind of says that in my biography, but I'm currently 18, I'm in grade 12. I've been Miss Manitowabi was 2 years ago. So we already put on the special, we already put on the conference. And the special was to honor our women while they're still here with us, to honor the lives of our women, because our women are sacred. We carry life. We have those teachings from our families. We were gifted with that. And so to put on that special, it represented honoring our women. I wanted to switch it from I didn't really want to focus on the sadness, the hurt, the scary part of this issue. I didn't want to focus on that. I had to switch it, because the direction that you want to go in, that's the one you want to focus on. I didn't want to focus on being scared to walk alone. I didn't want to focus on the disrespect, the hurt. I wanted to focus on healing. I wanted to focus on opportunity and sharing and healing and safety. I wanted to focus on that, honoring our women. That's why I put on that special, was to honor our women. And but in doing that, as we honor our women, we begin to respect ourselves. And that's the same thing. It's called mirror concept. What I see in you is also in myself. So I see that each and every one of you is sacred. I see that I'm sacred. I acknowledge that within myself. And as our women begin to respect ourselves, as we begin to respect our women again, to uplift them, to honor them, that would create a shift for our people to begin being respected again, for them to be honored, our women. And to see that special where we had each and every age category and each and every category dance, that was the highlight of my entire year, was to see all our beautiful women dancing and showing their style of dance, showing where they come from, representing their families, representing themselves in the best way that they knew how. That was what I wanted to do. And another thing that I had done, I don't know how much time I have, and another thing that I had done was to put on a conference. We put on a conference. We worked towards that conference for the healing of the families and of the missing and murdered Aboriginal women, and we invited them, and they came, and that was also a very great experience to have, and to allow that to happen within Winnipeg, to allow the healing to happen and to start. And so with that, I share my story of healing and empowerment, and not only to have come from hurt and genocide and historical trauma, but to get past that, to be where I am today. I'll be graduating this year. I'll be attending ITEP, hopefully, just waiting for my acceptance letter. And so I want to continue with that. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you for having me here. Hi.